Welcome back to Joy News. There's an online swindler on the loose in Accra defrauding people who want to rent apartments. A scammer who operates with other people brazenly takes unsuspecting victims to an apartment, hands over a key to non-existent buildings to them, and then takes advantage and takes advance payment from them. One of the victims in the early 30s was defrauded 30,000 Ghana cedis. Another man, Bright Ewusi, was duped of more than 10,000 cedis. Maxwell Agbagba followed up on this and spoke with Bright Ewusi.
The pictures of the...
I am in a car with one of the victims, Bright Ewusi. We are heading to Tantra Hills to see the apartment the online fraudsters used to scam him. The swindlers had taken pictures of the building and uploaded them on an online platform. This is the Tantra Hills community where Bright Ewusi was brought by the fraudsters. They took him to an apartment nearby, a very beautiful duplex nearby, where they handed him keys. Bright Ewusi tells me that even before he started the search online, his wife had a hunch that they could be scammed.
So I met him at Kodesh, around Kodesh area, because he said the landlord stays at North Carnation. So I picked him up around Kodesh and then we drove to the landlord's house. We went to an area just like this. I mean, the houses are facing each other. And then just when we were about to get there, the landlord came out, I mean, in a haste, going somewhere, in a hurry, going somewhere. He comes across like a man of God who was going to preach. And he said, oh, he's been waiting for us for a very long time. We kept delaying him. He's in a hurry to go somewhere. So quickly I said, oh, we are here, so let's go inside. And he said, oh, quickly. We should just sit in the car and then, I mean, sort everything out. He started asking me questions, why I go to church, where I work and all that. Very nice and calm man. So even when my wife saw him, he said, oh, he doubts this will be a scammer. Because we were having that perception. So we gave the money to him, 15,600. He gave me a receipt. He asked me to sign and gave some 2 keys to my wife and said that, oh, she is the woman, so she should take the keys. He told me that the tenancy agreement will be ready, that's a Tuesday morning, so I should come to the house Tuesday morning to come and pick it up. It was a movie house.
It was a movie house?
Yes. I find out the house was a movie house. That was a Thursday morning after I tried reaching him and I couldn't reach out to him anymore. So I got there only to find out that the place was a movie house. No, the apartment don't belong to them. They are not the owners of the apartment. The apartment is not for them. I'm told the owner of the apartment. No.
This apartment?
Yes, they gave me 2 keys to this apartment after I made a payment of 15,600.
Bright Ewusi is now on the phone speaking to another victim, 33-year-old event planner Ida Safoa. She saw Bright's story online and contacted him about how the same man defrauded her of close to 30,000 cedis after she tried to rent an apartment she saw online.
Landlord came out, was like, I'm in a hurry. I've been called to come to Tema for a surgery. You've kept long, so let's sit in my car and then run everything up so that I can go. I was like, okay, fine. And the way this man talks, he's like an angel. So my mom was like, hey, wait there, when you're fiera, papa, papa. So we sat in his car and there I gave him 20.
I'm saying that your landlord is, it's a good man.
Exactly, because of how he portrayed. So we were in the car and then I gave him a physical cash of 20,000. And then he was like, so when is he going to get the rest? And I was like, okay, I need a fence around the house. So if he's able to fix it for me, then I can make the final payment and then move in. And he was like, oh, it's not a problem. So I should go. And then he gave me a receipt for the 20,000 that I paid. And then he made me sign. He signed and then my mother signed as a witness. No, when he called me, he made the wife also called. I was like, okay, so there's a woman involved. I'm not sure these people, they are fake or something. And then this woman called and was like, Pacho, me was Pentex, so me kunu ne do number ma me say me frail. na me was shop on my metonia man into say hawa and can send the balance na me fan toto and I was like okay into number ben so na me sending and then they gave me a different number close to 30,000
9,000.
Security man Imano Dankwa had saved and borrowed money from friends to rent. He was also swindled by the same man who defrauded Bright Usi and Ida Safua.
Yes, it's not easy for me, Prao. I borrowed some money, and one of mine, my daughter, to send me money, and I borrowed some of the money, and I used to pay this money for the landlord.
I can hear you.
But online,
Okay, can you hear me now?
Bright Usi tells me many others have contacted him that they have been swindled in the past by the same scammer using the same method. For now, he's on the loose, ready to pounce on his next victim.
Let's get on to Zoom and speak with team lead of the Computer Emergency Response Team of the National Cybersecurity Authority, Stephen Seshi. Steve, I'm grateful for your time. Now, many a times, people who own online businesses complain about how scammers continue to make the platform unattractive to potential clients. I mean, what can we do to save this situation?
All right, thank you so much, and good morning to you and your listeners. Online business essentially thrives on a level of trust, I should say, and it's unfortunate we are hearing what you are hearing. And what can we do about it is really around our awareness of the existence of such schemes and then taking some precautions. So the Cybersecurity Authority, we do receive these kind of complaints. We have a point of contact where you can call us on 292 or send us a WhatsApp on 050-160-5111 to report if you suffer such an occurrence. Some of the things you can do is really around due diligence. So listening to our unfortunate victims, it appears they committed to the transaction without some additional checks. So what I'll touch on is a few other things or a few things we can do as prospective users of such online services to ensure that we do not fall victim to such scammers. So first one, I would say is in the kind of scenario you're talking about in terms of rent or renting an apartment. One thing you can do is after they've taken you around a supposed facility, you can go back on your own at a later time and check with the neighborhood, check with the people that live there, find out who actually owns the apartment you're interested in renting. And that will also assure you whether you are dealing with people who are just about to take your money or they actually do own the place. Another thing you can do, because this particular scammer, for instance, has done it to so many people, but nobody knows how he looks like. One thing we can recommend is when you are dealing with agents like this, try and get a view of the ID. They should give you, you can take a photo of the ID, take a photo of the person, the landlord as well, so that if something comes up, at least you have some proof of identity that you can use to start an investigation. The sums of money involved are quite significant, and it means we need to be able to pay through a channel which is trackable. Don't just hand over cash or do a mobile transaction and that's it. What we'd recommend is to be able to go through a bank. And once you're at the bank, then you have the chance to actually validate who owns that bank account. If it doesn't match with who the person or the name they've given you, then you already have a red flag that you can use to then take caution. Depending on what kind of apartment you're looking at, it might also make sense to just deal with a lawyer. Lawyers offer that service where they can look into the ownership of properties, they can look into who owns a specific house or whatever. So deal with a lawyer for some small fee. They can do the digging for you and then advise whether you should proceed or not. So these are some of the things we can take, the precautions we can take. It's really about due diligence. Unfortunately, in this part of the world, people will exploit what we don't check. So due diligence is what we'd advise.
Well, so what are some of the red flags we should be looking out for?
So one classic one would be if you deal with, if you go, let's say, to the bank and they've given you a bank account to pay into, you can check when was this account created in the first place, what name is behind that bank account. And typically in one report we've had here, the account was created just a few days before the prospective client was contacted. That alone also tells you that something is up. If the person is really an established agent or landlord, why is the account just set up for you to pay into? So you may want to look a bit more closely into something like that. If you go into the area, you can also survey the kind of rent they are paying in the area. So you go to, let's say, your Tantra Hills. Let's, for example, say the average rent there is around 1,000 cedis a month, but you are being offered 300 or 400. That's a red flag. It means something is off. Why is yours so low? They just want you to pay your 2 or 3 year advance. They take your money and that's it. So that's another flag you can watch out for.
Stephen says, I'm grateful for your time this morning. He's lead of the Computer Emergency Response Team at the Cybersecurity Authority. And